Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stuti series. Today's Stuti is the Varaha Stuti, 39th Shloka, 13th chapter, 3rd canto. Namo Namaste Khila Mantra Devata.
Namo Namaste Khila Mantra Devata
Dravyaya Sarvakratave Kriyatmane.
Dravyaya Sarvakratave Kriyatmane
Vairagya Bhaktyatmajayanubhavita.
Vairagya Bhaktyatmajayanubhavita
Jnanaya Vidya Gurave Namo Namaha.
Jnanaya Vidya Gurave Namo Namaha.
Good forward meaning translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namaha Namaha.
Namaha Namaha.
Obeisances unto you.
Obeisances unto you.
Te.
Te.
Unto you who are worshipable.
Unto you who are worshipable.
Akhila.
Akhila.
All inclusive.
All inclusive.
Mantra.
Mantra.
Hymns.
Hymns.
Devata.
Devata.
The Supreme Lord.
The Supreme Lord.
Dravyaya.
Dravyaya.
Unto all ingredients for performing sacrifices.
Unto all ingredients for performing sacrifices.
Sarvakratave.
Sarvakratave.
Unto all kinds of sacrifices.
Unto all kinds of sacrifices.
Kriya Atmane.
Kriya Atmane.
Unto you the supreme form of all sacrifices.
Unto you the supreme form of all sacrifices.
Vairagya.
Vairagya.
Renunciation.
Renunciation.
Bhaktya.
Bhaktya.
By devotional service.
By devotional service.
Atmajaya Anubhavita.
Atmajaya Anubhavita.
Perceivable by conquering the mind.
Perceivable by conquering the mind.
Jnanaya.
Jnanaya.
Such knowledge.
Such knowledge.
Vidya Gurave.
Vidya Gurave.
The supreme spiritual master of all knowledge.
The supreme spiritual master of all knowledge.
Namaha Namaha.
Namaha Namaha.
Again I offer my respectful obeisances.
Again I offer my respectful obeisances.
Translation. O Lord.
O Lord.
You are the supreme personality of Godhead.
You are the supreme personality of Godhead.
And are worshipable by universal prayers.
And are worshipable by universal prayers.
Vedic hymns and sacrificial ingredients.
Vedic hymns and sacrificial ingredients.
We offer our obeisances unto you.
We offer our obeisances unto you.
You can be realized by the pure mind.
You can be realized by the pure mind.
Freed from all visible and invisible material contamination.
Freed from all visible and invisible material contamination.
We offer our respectful obeisances to you.
We offer our respectful obeisances to you.
As the supreme spiritual master of knowledge and devotional service.
As the supreme spiritual master of knowledge in devotional service.
Right, so let's read Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada writes, the qualification of bhakti or devotional service to the Lord is that the devotee should be free from all material contaminations and desires. One who engages in devotional service to the Lord, according to regulative principles, is automatically freed from material desires, and in that pure state of mind, one can realize the personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada and the purport is identifying two things that we should be free from. One is material contamination, and the other is desires. What is this material contamination? This material contamination is our existing prarabdha karma that we are experiencing. Essentially, you could say the first material contamination is that we have acquired a material body. So that's the first contamination that we should be free from. That means we need to spiritualize this body. The second contamination Prabhupada talks about is the desire. So the desire of I am, I must, I should. So anything that is egocentric, that is I-centric, you could say, is essentially the false ego. The false ego tells you what all you should have for yourself. So Prabhupada is saying that we should develop this freedom from material contamination and desires through a process called Vairagya. Vairagya only comes when you renounce material desires. One who engages in devotional service to the Lord according to the regulative principles is automatically freed from material desires. And in that pure state of mind, one can realize the personality of Godhead. Like we were discussing on Friday, there was a question asked about, when does this contamination actually get removed? We are not perfect, but we can examine ourselves and see that some of the contaminations are falling by the wayside. But that doesn't mean we are completely pure yet. So if we have faith in the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, because that is essentially the foundation for eliminating these material contaminations. The designation that says anything other than I am a servant of Krishna is a material contamination. So Prabhupada writes here, the personality of Godhead being situated in everyone's heart instructs the devotee regarding pure devotional service so that he may ultimately achieve the association of the Lord. So the Lord himself will guide you to the path of pure devotional service. He is sitting within you as Chaitya Guru. So the Lord himself is so merciful that when he sees the earnestness in you and in your practice of Krishna consciousness, then the Lord himself will give his darshan to you. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.10 as follows. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To one who constantly engages in the devotional service of the Lord with faith and love, the Lord certainly gives the intelligence to achieve him at the ultimate end. So it is constant devotional service that is going to help us remove these anarthas within us. One has to conquer the mind, and one may do it by following the Vedic rituals and by performing different types of sacrifice. The ultimate end of all those performances is to attain bhakti, or the devotional service of the Lord. So here Prabhupada is explaining the trick for us is to conquer the mind. How do you conquer the mind? The first step for a neophyte devotee is to follow the samskaras of the Vedic rituals, and different types of sacrifices are offered. But the ultimate end of all those performances is to attain bhakti, or the devotional service of the Lord. So all paths have to culminate in bhakti at some point in time. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original personality of Godhead, or his innumerable expansions of Vishnu are the only objects of worship by all the Vedic rituals and sacrificial performances. So, Prabhupada in one of the lectures says that ahankara, or false ego, is the sum total of all misconceptions. What could these misconceptions be about? About Krishna. So the sum total of all misconceptions about Krishna is ahankara. So it is this ahankara that prevents you from seeing Krishna properly, if at all you have an opportunity to see him. So in this verse, there is a beautiful statement that the sages are making. And the statement is as follows. You can be realized by the pure mind, freed from all visible and invisible material contamination. What is this visible contamination that is visible to others? It's your behavior. What is this invisible contamination? It is your false ego, that ahankara. This false ego is the most subtle type of contamination. It is the most subtle covering of the soul. So both material contamination and material desires disqualify you from seeing the Lord. And the way to become qualified to see the Lord is through the process of vairagya, detachment. And as we said, thus detachment develops over a period of time without you even being conscious of it. Slowly your material contaminations are being cleansed from your heart. So there is a saying, what kind of subtle contaminations can be there? Okay, the external contaminations are your behavior, the way you speak, the way you conduct yourself. All other observable things you could say are visible contaminations. But it is the subtle contaminations that actually plague us, that prevent us from making progress. And the worst of the subtle contaminations is the very first offense that we recite when we recite the 10 offenses. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord. That means Vaishnava Ninda is the ultimate worst type of contamination that will prevent you from making progress. There are other things that a devotee has to be mindful about, especially when they are engaged in service and they may reach a particular stage of prominence within the temple or within their Vaishnava associates, that you may be tempted by what Premanand Maharaj calls Kamani, Kanchan and Kirti. So this Kamani is attraction to the opposite sex. Even though you may think, I am practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, there are very, very subtle attractions to the opposite sex. So Kamani, Kanchan, money, the desire for money, the desire for success, and Kirti, the desire to be praised. Even small things, if somebody doesn't say to you, oh, you did wonderful cooking, your dishes were just absolutely tasty, you don't feel comfortable. So this is a subtle desire to be praised. And Prabhupada elsewhere warns of 4 aspects that we should all be careful about. Kama, puja, which is to be praised. Labha, same thing, to be profiting from practicing Krishna consciousness. And pratishtha, fame. So Prabhupada is explaining that these are things that a devotee should be very careful about. So we have to conquer the mind, or we cannot engage in devotional services. To conquer the mind, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself demonstrated to all his personal associates how one can use a very simple technique to cleanse the heart. And all of you are aware of the Gundicha Marjan. The whole purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performing the Gundicha Marjan was to teach us that external cleansing of the temple of the Lord can help the internal cleansing of our consciousness. So in the Madhya Leela, in the 12th chapter of the Madhya Leela, which is titled the Gundicha Marjan, there is a wonderful description and a detailed description of the level of cleaning that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu undertook with his personal associates. So 100 brooms, 100 mops, 100 buckets of water were used to clean the temple. But before the cleaning began, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He took all his personal associates and with his own hands smeared sandalwood pulp on their bodies. After he had smeared sandalwood pulp, he gave all of his associates brooms, and personally he showed them how to clean. So I'll just read briefly from the Chaitanya Charitamrita some of the verses that Kaviraj Goswami writes. In this way, the Lord and his associates went to cleanse the Gundicha temple. At first, they cleansed the temple with the brooms. The Lord cleansed everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He then took up the sitting place, Simhasana, cleansed it, and again put it in its original place. Thus the Lord and his companions cleansed and swept all the temple's buildings, big and small, and finally cleansed the area between the temple and the Kirtana hall. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleansed the temple in great jubilation, chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna all the time. Similarly, all the devotees were also chanting and at the same time performing their respective duties. So as they were cleaning, chanting was going on. The entire beautiful body of the Lord was covered with dust and dirt. In this way, it became transcendently beautiful. At times when cleansing the temple, the Lord shed tears, and in some places he even cleansed with those tears. After this, the place where the deity's food was kept, Bhoga Mandira, was cleansed. Then the yard was cleansed, and then all the residential quarters, one after the other. So it's not just the Simhasan where the Lord is seated that is cleansed. The entire temple, end to end, top to bottom, was cleansed by Mahaprabhu. After Mahaprabhu collected all the straw, dust, and grains of sand in one place, he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside. You have to remember, this is the Supreme Lord. Moreover, this is the Supreme Lord in the dress of a sannyasi. Yeah, can you imagine a sannyasi doing such menial service? But the Lord wanted to instruct us. Following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees in great jubilation began to gather straws and dust with their own cloths and throw them outside the temple. The Lord then told the devotees, I can tell how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing all the straw and dust you have collected outside. And what is amazing, as this description goes on till the end of the chapter, there are so many shlokas describing the detailed cleansing that was done by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. So much so that even though there were hundreds of people, it was always Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's garbage pile that was largest. It means he was so thorough in his cleaning. And after the entire inside of the temple was cleansed, the Lord again called all the devotees and said, clean again. After sweeping, then mopping and washing of the temple. And Mahaprabhu said, no, look for dust. Look for dust. Look for that grain of sand that we have missed. Collect it and throw it outside. And you think they just left it outside? After they collected everything and left it outside, the outside was cleansed. So there was one cleansing and then there was a deep cleansing for the second time. And Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic to see so many of his associates and so many other devotees gathered there to clean the temple. So if we want to conquer the mind, the best way to conquer the mind is to engage in the most menial service of cleaning the temple of the Lord. So this Gundicha Marjana is an explanation of the cleansing of the heart. So you have to see the dirt within you and clean it. So There is this external cleansing of the temple going on. But actually what Mahaprabhu is teaching us is that we have to mind our own uncleanliness, our internal uncleanliness. This is the subtle uncleanliness. So we have to search for the dirt within us, both the gross dirt and the subtle dirt. The gross dirt can be easily cleansed. The subtle dirt is very hard to cleanse, and it takes years of chanting and hearing. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, literally cleaning the temple will help us clean our hearts. So Prabhupada writes some beautiful purports to this Gundicha Mandir Marchana. So there are so many inauspicious things within our heart. And another way of cleansing is Shinvatam Svakatha Krishna. You should always be hearing about Krishna. You cannot go wrong if you're constantly hearing Krishna Katha. You cannot go wrong. The cleansing is happening. You do not know that it is happening, but it is happening. At first, when you sweep, what will happen? All the dust flies up into the air. That's why you mop after you sweep. So the mopping is a deeper cleansing. So hearing can also be a wonderful way in which we can cleanse our consciousness. When we are hearing attentively, Krishna is paying attention to you. So when we endeavor to hear and we are consistently hearing, then your heart is sufficiently cleansed, so much so Krishna comes to reside within that heart. And all future cleaning is done by Krishna himself. So Krishna looks for all of your anarthas, plucks it and throws it outside. But that comes when you are sincere. So sincerity means also consistency. So I was listening to one Prabhu's class this morning, His Grace Rajiv Lochan Prabhu. He says we should beg the Lord to clean our contaminations. Every day when we go in front of the Lord, we must confess to the Lord all of the anarthas that are there within us and express to the Lord that we are incapable of cleaning it anymore on our own and that we need the Lord's divine mercy to cleanse us of these anarthas. So we should not hesitate to express our anarthas to the Lord. Challenges that we are facing in clearing out the subtle sense of pride, anger, ego, jealousy, this fault finding with others, we should constantly beg the Lord that these are anarthas that are staying with us day after day, month after month, year after year, life after life. And only with the Lord's mercy and with the Vaishnava mercy can we remove these deeper contaminations. Many of the Matajis and maybe even the Prabhujis have experienced what it means to do deep cleansing, external deep cleansing, I'm saying. It takes so much effort. So this Anya Bilashita Shunyam, in one of the purports, Prabhupada writes, the problem with us is that we have Anya Bilashita Purna. We have so many desires other than wanting to please Krishna. So if our desire keeps growing to please Krishna through devotional services, then the devotional creeper can grow through the process of de-weeding. So here, this shloka reminds us that we all have both visible and invisible contaminations. And only those who have gotten rid of these contaminations, the sages are saying, can actually see the Lord.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.